is Everett, Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to Simply Drawing with Everett. And today I got a little drawing for you today. I'm going to draw a barn, so stand by. I love barns, so let me take you over to my drawing table and let me get started. Close-up camera. Okay, I got several pictures of barns. This is a pretty standard shape here of a barn. That one's very nice. But I decided to go with something like this. I like this angle. I like to get this little more top space of the roof and so forth, and a back shed. So I'm going to use this shape here. I'm going to use some of the coloring off of this, and use the shape of this. So a combination of both the photographs, and some of it's coming from my own memory of my own experiences with living on a farm. So first thing I want to do, and let me show you my equipment today. I'm going to be using colored pencils today, and I'll be using the Holbein Artist Quality Artist color pencils, and they come in sets of 24, 36, 50, and all the way up to 150 colors in the different color pencils. Just wonderful, and they really go down nicely. I'm also going to use a couple ink pens today. This is a FUDA pen, which is a bent nib. I'm going to use that to draw in, and kind of set up. Use a little mechanical pencil just to get the sketch started. So I'll use ink pen to draw it in, and we'll start the start coloring in with the color pencils. So back to my close-up camera. So the first thing I do is I kind of sight. You can see the peak here is just about halfway. So I take my sheet of paper here. This is the normal 8.5 by 11 sheet of drawing paper, and this is about in the middle. So I'll start up here, about in the middle of the page. So I'll start at the peak, and I'll come down, get that shape in. I got the roof line. About the size of the roof. And then the base of the roof, the base of the barn. Remember, perspective-wise, this was going to the longest leg, so it's going to be shorter in the back. And as we come out here to the front, it's going perspective and put a little angle on that. Get the back side of the roof. Maybe it's a little bit higher, I think. Make it a little bit higher. A little peak down. Have a slope. There we go. And then this is going to come down this angle, and it's about equal. Now I got this shed in the back here. Bring that down. This goes all the way across. And this comes straight down. Okay. All right. So I got the basic shape. All right. So that's the first thing you do is kind of get a sizing of it, and that you get, make sure it fits on the paper right, where you want to put it, and so forth. Okay. So this FUDA pen, which has got a bent tip, it's got nice. This has got watercolor paint in it, watercolor ink. So I'm going to go ahead and darken this in now. I'm going to make a rough edge here on the barn. It's an old roof, so I'm going to give it a little texture, a little roughness. And it's not a straight. It's kind of got like a little bend to it, so it's like an old roof. And they're going to make some rough edges here. And this will slant. This will slant down perspective-wise. Then I'll bring the back wall starting there, and I get the front wall, front edge. Okay, and the little dotted lines there. That's kind of. And I'll put a couple windows in here. So let's say, about right here, we'll put a window. We'll go further back. We'll make another window for ventilation and lighting inside the barn. And then I'm going to put a doorway now. I'm going to put a doorway here, about this doorway here. I'm going to put a door there, and the horizon line is about right here. So I'm going to put the horizon line here. Put the horizon line in. And this is almost level because it's just about eye level with my viewpoint here with horizon line. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a doorway here. And I'm going to show the door open. So I'm going to show a little open door here. So bring out a little shape here. This is not in the photograph, so I'm making this up here as I go. But this shows maybe the door is open, okay? And then I'm going to pick another window over here. And I'm going to make a big, and that's just part of the shed. This shed here this is where you keep the equipment in. The tractors and farm equipment and so forth will go in here. And I'll leave this door open for storage. Okay, then I'm going to put a loft up here. So there's a beam that goes across the front here. Then in the middle of the structure would be a large opening. And that'll be the upper. That's where the hay goes. Hay goes in the hay loft. Okay. Then the back part of the roof will have some rough edges on the rooftop. And come down here to the roof part of the shed section. And then we'll go across the bottom here with a little bit of roughness, maybe grass growing up alongside. Okay. All right, so there's the main structure right there. Now I got the sun coming in from this direction. This will be the light side. It'll be the dark, shadow side over here. So let's go ahead and start putting some color in. So I'm going to put in I'm going to make the barn itself. I'm going in and get the colored pencil. This is gray, gray light. In this particular set of water pencils, you can get there's about five levels of gray. And so you can choose one or two different. Gray is a very nice color to have, especially in this case here where I got a nice. I have gray boards here on the side. So what I'm doing is using the side of the lid. And on the front of it's going to be a little lighter out here, so I'll have to put a little more color on the side. So use the same color here, same color boards, and the door will have the same color. So kind of getting a base coat down here, just a general, I like to call it underpainting or undercolor. Get a base color going. In this case, it's gray on the bottom here. Okay, so that gives that side. Now I'm going to put that away, and let's see. Let's start the rooftop. The rooftop, I'm going to make. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to make it red. I'm going to make a red roof. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of red scarlet. This is a scarlet color. I'm going to just put a little bit of red in here. And I'm going to also pick up some orange. I like orange too, a little orange. So this might be an old metal roof that's going to have a little rust to it. So I'll make a little rusty roof up here. Put a little orange up there. And I've also got, this is burnt sienna. Now these colors are compatible with my watercolors. I have burnt sienna in my watercolor palette. So I can use the colored pencils along with my watercolors. Very, very compatible. I'll get that a little more red up in here. A little darker maybe. I like the orange. Go back and put some more of that orange in there for rust. I'll get a little rusty barn here on the top. Okay. That's a good starting point there. All right, now as far as the windows are concerned, they're in shadow because they're shaded. So we'll pick up a little bit of I got a black pen color pencil, and we'll go in here and put a little bit of here. And up here in the loft. There's windows, a little bit down here. Now what I'm going to do though, at the bottom, I'm not going to make it all black solid. So what I'm going to do is put a little shading in there. I'm going to put a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm going to put a little warm color down here at the base. A little bit of light shining in there. It's not exactly black all the way down. It's got a little bit of shading at the bottom. So I'm going to kind of shade that in a little bit right there. Give a little glow at the bottom. And see. I have yellow ochre also. I'll put that in there. This is yellow ochre. The ochre and burnt sienna gives me a nice gray. It gives me a nice barn color for could be hay up there in the barn, and it gives me a little lighting at the bottom of the openings. The light's shining in there, but it's dark in the back, and it's a little bit lighter toward the entranceway. Okay, maybe just a little bit of here inside the windows. Not too much. Okay. All right, let's see what I can do here now. Okay, get some base coat. Now, as far as shadows go, I'm going to put a little bit of shadow here on the ground. So I got a purple now, violet color pencil. I'm going to put start out with a little bit of shading of shadows. The light's coming down here a little bit. A little bit of shading on the edge here, because this is the shadow side. I've got the light coming in. The rooftop is lighter. The side, but this is the shadow side of the barn over here. So I'm going to put the shadow in. A little base coat here of the shadow pattern. A little bit of purple down here, a little violet. Okay. All right, so I got basically that part done. Now what I do now, I want to kind of put in a little darker mix of everything. So what I'll do here now, I'm going to take a little bit of that, I guess I can shade in a little bit of shadow under the eaves here. A little bit of shadow on the bottom here of the rooftop. A little bit of shadow pattern on the eaves here. I'll put start a little bit of violet under here. This will all be in shadow here, so not too much. Might be a little bit darker up in here. Show that there's a little edge. Show that there's an edge here to the roof and the doorway. I'll put a little bit of shadow inside of the windows also. Put that little bit of purple inside. Again, it keeps I'm using the colors that are around. Keep it unified. Using the same colors all over. And let's see, a little more shading, I think, in the. Use that little bit of. Now use gray over here. Now I'm going to put a little bit of black on this, just to put some boards in here. And I think I'll use my ink pen also. Now I'm going to go a little bit darker now under the eaves, a little bit darker. A little bit darker under the eaves. And it's going to be a little bit darker over here, so I'm adding a little more value now. A little more. This is going to be shadow over here, so I'm adding a little more. The sun is coming on the other side, so this side is kind of in shadow. So I'll make this a little bit darker over here. Make it more shadow. The darkest section, though, right here against the dark against the light, is where you get the impact of the contrast right here. Then as I go further out, I go further back, it gets faded just a little bit. It's not all the same darkness, because we're looking at perspective. We're looking at an angle here that gives it a little more depth. Supposed to be a little bit, just slightly lighter out here, not as dark as the next to the corner there. Okay. All right, now I think I'll also work on the rooftop a little bit. So I like that orange, so we're gonna darken that orange up. Put a little more pressure on the pencil and get a little more pigment on there. So the more layers you put on, and also I don't want to use too much pressure, so you don't want to break your points off. This is pretty strong lead, so you can put a lot of pressure on this, and you're okay. Little traces of rust over here on the rooftop. Okay, now I get a little darker now. I'll pick some of that red in my dark red. Mix in that rust. A little dark red color, a little variety up here on the rooftop. And I think I'll pick up a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is I want to put in some definition now. So I take my FUDA pen, which has got black ink in it, and now I'm going to go ahead and make a little more definition here of some of these edges. And I'm going to also draw in some board marks on the side. Going to give a little more definition. A little more character here on the side, okay? And then I can also put some lines up here on the rooftop for this metal roof that's rusting away. And I get some boards hanging out the edge of the roof. Okay. There won't be too much definition out here. I think I'll put some lines on the door showing boards. And I'm going to shadow underneath the bottom step here, entranceway, and make the shadow next to the edge of the doors a little bit stronger. And it gets weaker as I go along. It gets weaker as I go over here. Not as much defined. Okay. Define the hayloft. Got some light up there inside. Leaving the door lighter just for the fact just give us some little variety there, but also to be able to see the lights and darks again. And just really faint lines here to show that these are boards on here also. and work on this window here a little bit. Just enough to define it. So just clean up some of the edges. Okay, what I want to do is maybe put an old tree out here. So just using pencil marks, give me a nice rough tree, and I can use the side. Now using the edge of the, this has all kinds of widths with it. I can change the angle on this FUDA pen, and I get a thick line or a thin line depending on how I want to move it around. It has a 45-degree angle on the nib, so I can get a really dark line, or I can get a real fine line if I twist the nib around. Look at a nice looking tree over here. Winter time. A little bit of ground. Okay. All right. Okay, let's put a little frame around this just to clean it up. I'm going to put a little frame around this. We'll take it off, take the paper off the clipboard here. Put this down. That's too big. Yeah, that's about the right size. This 8 by 10. This 8 by 10 format here, and you can see it'd be a nice little drawing. So you can take that and frame that and put it in your favorite place. I think that's about it. Okay, so that's my my barn today, drawing, and let's go back to the main camera. Hey, Everett's Watercolors. This is Everett. Simply drawing whenever, having a good time, and drawing barns is one of my favorite subjects, along with all the others I do. I haven't found one yet I don't like, so you can all bear with me on that one. But I grew up on a farm, and barns are very, very personal to me. I lived on a farm, worked on a farm for all my high school days, and until I went to college. So I spent a lot of time on the farm. And I worked in the hay lofts, and did a lot of the yard work and the farm work. So it means a lot to me. So it brings back a lot of memories. So I hope you enjoy that. If you like it, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. It's important to me. It helps my rating. And if you like it, subscribe, and you'll be notified of my next video. So until next week, I'll be back on Thursday. You all stay safe. And I also do a little drawing on Sunday with anyone can draw with one line only. You might enjoy that drawing also. So we'll see you next week. You all stay safe. Bye.